All right, let's talk about the Browns. You know, we don't share much information. I mean, these are spontaneous conversations. We like them to be that way because we started this because we sat around doing this all the time anyway, and we thought we might as well just do it this way. So we share very little information with each other. We usually just have one or two line of notes here, and your note on for the Browns is a quiet offseason is all the Browns can hope for. I don't know there's ever been a truer statement made, right? I mean, just like there's been so much going on with bringing Watson in and just a media frenzy waiting for him to come back. And then when he came back, I think they need a quiet offseason to just kind of sit and quietly put everything together to try to put together a strong 2023 season. But it brings us inevitable. All right. So Watson has served his suspension. He had a couple games to come back to kind of knock the rust off. He's going to have an off season to prepare with his new team. Everything is out of the way, right? Now we get to see if Deshaun Watson is the answer, or we may see if Kevin Stefanski is the next casualty in the coaching. I don't know. We're going to see. And side news, not near as dramatic as that, Myles Garrett was injured in the Pro Bowl.
Yo, what are the chances they go to flag football, just add a couple of weird little games to play, and he dislocates a toe?
Yeah, that's too fun. I'm sure he doesn't think it's funny, but I saw this big, massive, oh my God, injuries in the Pro Bowl, and this is horrible. And I read it was a broken toe, and shit that can be done getting out of bed and kicking the bed frame. It's really not that big a deal. But anyway, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on Watson and Stefanski and what the Browns have to look forward to.
So for the Browns, like they've tied themselves to Deshaun Watson, right? You gave him $230 million fully guaranteed for 5 years. So you're tied to him no matter what for 5 years. So Kevin Stefanski, and like you said, like Deshaun Watson had some time to knock the rust off. He'll have an offseason to work with the team. They have a chance to build this team around Deshaun going into the offseason. If Stefanski can't get to the playoffs, he's definitely out. If he can't win a playoff game, good chance he's out. Like Kevin Stefanski has had plenty of talent to work with over his years. And I understand he had Baker Mayfield and everything you could say about Baker Mayfield and blah, blah, blah. But look, there's been plenty of talent on that roster for years. And it's not like they've gotten a whole lot worse. They have a lot of the same guys who are still playing at Pro Bowl and all pro type levels. They've drafted some guys over the last couple of years that have played well for them in their rookie and sophomore season. So again, with you being tied to Deshaun Watson, Kevin Stefanski has a lot of pressure on him, and rightfully so. So that's going to be the big question is can they build a team around Deshaun? And when they do, and however they do that, obviously you have to bring some more receivers in. You're definitely going to want more receivers with the way teams are building. That's probably where they're going to go in the draft. If I had to predict how they're going to go there, it's probably going to be what they're doing in the second round. But in my opinion, like the Browns, as we sit right now, are going to be looking for another coach come 2024. Kevin Stefanski just doesn't seem like the guy. I used to be high on him because I thought he was doing a lot with Baker Mayfield. But over time, he's had more time to put it together. Right, when you put together over a stretch of period, you have a better outlook on everything. And I just don't think Kevin Stefanski's a guy for the job right now. And it's obviously the Browns organization. Maybe he's doing wonders with what he has to work with. You know what I mean? But I just don't see him being the guy. And I think they're going to be looking somewhere else come next season.
So I absolutely agree with you. And I haven't been a Stefanski fan, period. And the only reason I say that, you made a great point. It stands alone. Is because I think Baker Mayfield has been scapegoated twice. I think he was scapegoated in Cleveland, and I think he was scapegoated out in Carolina. And what the man did in L.A. was ridiculous. right? Just to be thrown into a situation and come in and act like you know what you're doing. And I would love to see Mayfield get into a good system and be able to continue his career for that reason. Which we've been talking a lot about Carr and we've been talking about Rodgers, but we have not talked about Baker Mayfield. And I don't know why we just didn't talk about him. But there's a lot of places that guy could go to come in and try to make a difference. But my point is that I think Mayfield ended up being the scapegoat for Stefanski's ineptness, and I'd love to see him make them sorry for not seeing that sooner. But I agree with you. I don't expect much out of the Browns at all this year.
Yeah, I mean, at least as we see right now, maybe they do something crazy in the offseason, like DeAndre Hopkins wants out of Arizona. Maybe they make a trade, get a DeAndre Hopkins, and you reunite Deshaun with DeAndre. But as we see right now, I wouldn't expect a whole lot of the Browns next season.
Agreed.